Will's a fucking globetrotter now, so we can't even get him on the show anymore. And I was sick.
Booked solid.
Yeah, he's just like, sorry, dude.
Did you ever find out what you were sick with? You just had mystery illness.
No, I love that there's this new thing that doctors do where they just literally are like, it's not COVID. It's probably like literally. I got a test. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, is it COVID? Is it COVID? Is it COVID? Because like my parents had left already, but I'm still worried. Like, what if it was COVID and I might have like given it
to them? And
yeah. So, so doctors now do this thing where they just go, thankfully it's not COVID. It's probably one of those respiratory things going around. I'm like, yeah. Well, I would like to know what
which respiratory thing?
Yeah, like is it bronchitis? Like what the fuck's going on? Like
is it mesothelioma? Yeah.
It's like, yeah, fuck it, don't worry. It's not COVID, so you're good. It's like, all right, well, I feel like shit. I'm like fucking, sneezing blood for like a week.
That's since like people have started to reintroduce themselves in society. I feel like there are a bunch of really intense, like kind of flu-like illnesses flying around.
Yeah. They were waiting. They were like the flus were waiting. They were at the gates. They were like, I can't wait. I'm going to fuck these dudes up.
I'm going to make them remember me.
Yeah. When these motherfuckers come back, dude, it's fucking over.
Yeah, dude.
So now everyone's just like sick. People just get sick and then they're like, it's not COVID. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
All the time. It's like every time you go into society.
Yeah. But luckily it wasn't, and I am recovering. I'm in good shape now. I had like a fat finger injury too. Oh yeah, since the nail salon, this blew up. I don't know how.
Oh, it got infected.
Yeah, it got like crazy infected, and I've been putting some Ivermectin on.
Oh no. That almost slid by me. The way you did it so naturally.
Yeah, I've been, I went to the doctor. Doctor said, put some Ivermectin.
Real quick.
Put some Ivor on it, brother.
Throw some of that Ivor on there.
Yeah, no, the Ivermectin is the hat stiffener. Like you were joking about hat stiffener, it's Ivermectin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in some Ivermectin?
Yeah.
Listen, you look like a man who wants to stay healthy.
Yeah.
How much can I interest you in?
Yeah, would you like some? We got apple flavored. We got tapioca flavored Ivermectin.
Yeah, the horses love that one.
Yeah. Well, that was specifically for the hogs, Yeah. Tapioca flavored is for the older conservative gentlemen.
Yeah. It also comes with a DVD box set of Matlock.
DVD box set of Matlock, and you got a lifetime subscription for our televangelist.
Dude, I thought it was really funny. I never just mean to just club on someone because we talk. I feel like Joe Rogan comes up a lot.
I love clubbing on people. But, go off.
It was just crazy to me how like Joe Rogan, like people were basically ripping on him for taking Ivermectin, and he was like, "Yeah, they're saying I'm taking horse dewormer." It's like, yeah, you are. Yeah, that's like someone doing a bunch of ketamine and being like, oh, dude, why do you keep saying I'm taking cat tranquilizer? This is drugs, man.
Yeah, it's like
what?
No, they're kids, dude. Joe Rogan is literally like a kid. He had the guy who did Cocaine Cowboys on last, and the first 10 minutes of the podcast is just like the documentarian that did Cocaine Cowboys, like literally telling Joe, like, dude, you are so wrong about like everything. Please stop
what you're doing.
Yeah, and he's just basically telling him like straight facts. I watched a Joe Rogan fan like break it down, and they were like, many people in the Joe Rogan fandom were saying that he was reading facts from a script. It's like, first of all, he's a fucking documentarian.
Yeah.
So if he came correct to one of the most popular podcasts on the fucking planet and like actually wrote out facts, then what's the problem?
Yeah,
that still does.
The other
that doesn't devalue his point of view, but he wasn't even doing.
The other thing that you have to realize is like, listen, the creator of Cocaine Cowboys is famous in his own right, but like when you show up on Joe Rogan, that is your opportunity to talk about elk meat and plug products.
Yeah,
for him to go after Joe Rogan and be like, please stop doing this. That does not behoove him.
Like Joe started off with Florida because he's like from the guy is from Florida, and like he's Cocaine Cowboys. He's done a bunch of extensive docs on Florida. He did the 30 for 30, the U. Like I've watched,
my favorite 30 for 30.
Yeah,
it's all about the U.
I've seen
it's all about.
Like I hate sports, and you know this already. And I also
oh my god, the U is the best.
But I watched that when I was in,
the dance move, the George Jefferson.
Which one? I don't even know.
It's this one right here where you like put up.
I did not know that.
It's like you put a leg up, cock it to the side, and throw your dick into it.
It's actually I think it's called like opening the door. It's like a stretch exercise.
Yeah, I mean that, but it's dude. The U was like
they were just doing it.
They redefined sports celebration. Anyway, I cut you off. Keep going.
No, it's all good. But so he basically was just like talking about how COVID is like murdering cops, like one cop a day.
That's so crazy.
In Florida, it's nuts. Like
it's crazy that cops just aren't like not vaccinated.
No, because they're like 90% Republican. Of course, they're not going to get vaccinated. And police unions are like fighting back aggressively. They're like, no, we're not going to get vaccinated. It's like, okay, then die. You know what I mean? Fucking go ahead, die. Like, you're a public servant. You're literally spreading COVID to people that you're dealing with on a daily basis. Some of these people are incredibly vulnerable, but like, also at the same time, a little give and take, a little pro, a little con there. Okay, if you're gonna fucking die from COVID, like if you look at officer down pages in like Texas, it's like COVID-19, 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 accidental discharge, COVID-19, 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 car crash, COVID-19, COVID-19. I'm not even kidding. It's literally 145 cops have died.
That's
from COVID-19.
So crazy. I mean, we talk about this a lot, but like the mentality that a police officer being killed in the line of duty is like one of the most galvanizing things for the police force, right?
Yeah.
It's like if a cop is shot, it's like we're going in and we're finding this we're going full Serpico.
Yeah.
We're going Cobra. They drew first blood.
Yeah.
But like when it's a virus, they're like, well, natural selection.
Yeah.
It's like,
but not like it's just they're I don't know what to say. They're just like a paramilitary group that's like lightly trained and incredibly well armed that are all hogs. Like we talk about like the Proud Boys and shit, like cops, dude. That's them. But they have lethal force. They have authorization to enact the monopoly of violence that the state has.
They all listen to Joe Rogan.
And they all listen to Joe Rogan, and they're all Ivermectin boys. They're on that Mectin, brother. But it's nuts.
This is a good kind of informational for, I guess, a lot of people listening, because I don't fucking know. Do you even know what the thought thread is on taking ivermectin to deal with COVID?
Yes.
What is? I don't even know.
So ivermectin is an anti-parasitic
right.
drug.
I know that. It's a dewormer.
Yeah, it's a dewormer. It's it's mostly used in cattle and like obviously for horses and stuff.
I wish this wasn't real.
Yeah, and then there was actually a human use for it that was found, I believe either in 2005 or 2015. They always bring it up. They're like, Nobel Prize winner. It's a Nobel Prize winning research.
Right.
It's like, so were lobotomies. Okay, are you gonna do a lobotomy for COVID then? How about that? Try it out, brother. Put a little boop ice pick right in the fucking dome. See how that fixes your COVID real quick. Yeah. It does. If you fucking die, you no longer have COVID.
Yeah.
So, these guys are psychotic, but it's also not fucking a Nobel Prize winner for COVID or even antiviral medication. It's Nobel Prize winning for use in humans for river blindness and numerous other fucking worms and shit. You know what I mean? It's a dewormer.
River blindness.
Yeah, it's just like, it's so dumb. And then it is basically it's like this version of hydroxychloroquine.
Right.
Which was, malaria, lupus, that sort of thing.
Got it.
And it didn't work, and America's frontline doctors pumped it out, and they were like trying to shill it, and people were like trying to sneakily get hydroxychloroquine, which also sounded, creepily similar to hydrochlorine, I think, or hydrochloroquine, which is like the fish tank cleaner. So I think it was only one couple that actually took it and died, but like other than that, luckily they couldn't get their hands on that.
That is so grim and hilarious.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the thought process when they're like, we can't find none of this hydrochloroquine, and then they're like, wait a minute, honey, I found a bottle at the PetSmart.
Yeah.
We just fucking whip that up in a margarita.
No,
toss that back.
That's literally what happened.
Oh no, I did. I could take my mind to those places.
Yeah. That's precisely what happened with ivermectin, where like it started blowing up in these groups, and you got Brett Weinstein and all these other like fucking podcasters and shit that were like pumping it up, and people couldn't have access to it though because doctors were like, the fuck, you don't have a parasite, we're not going to give it to you.
Right.
So they were like, don't matter. I'll get it from the feed store. So they started these massive Facebook groups where they were like, where people were collaborating with one another, telling each other like, well, if you're, 100 pounds, like you should take this amount of horse dewormer. And, so they started taking the horse version of it. Obviously rich people, they can fucking tell their doctor, like, give me ivermectin, and the doctor will give it to them.
Right.
So it's a little different for Joe Rogan and like some other rich people. But some of the other countries that did not have access to the vaccine were, they were just throwing whatever they can at the problem. So they were trying to use ivermectin as a treatment. No studies have conclusively shown thus far that ivermectin is an effective.
Does anything.
No studies have shown conclusively thus far that ivermectin actually works as antiviral. There's one study that said that there was one study done on, I think, rats, which have a very similar. No, rats.
No, I know.
That's the reason why
they use them to test pharmaceuticals before.
So there was one study done on rats that showed that ivermectin, if used in like massive dosages, could have antiviral properties, right? But the study was never used on humans. The study was never replicated, and also, if you extrapolate the data from that study, it came out that the amount of ivermectin that you need to ingest in order for it to have antiviral properties,
nukes your system
would lead to serious complications. So that's why whenever these people say like it's a safe drug, it's the safest drug ever in the world in the history of the world. No drug has ever been safer. It's like, no, dude, you're delusional. Like you're a psycho. Like you can die from aspirin, dude. Like
pot's still illegal in some areas. And you're like, come on, man, what the fuck?
Yeah. So they're just there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's paired up with the skepticism towards the vaccine.
Yeah, and it's interesting, that we just passed the anniversary of 9/11, because that's kind of like, patient zero for like when the mistrust of any authority started, like the loose change era of it's like the government is lying to you, the hospitals are lying to you, the construction companies are lying to you, the airlines are lying to you.
Yeah,
I might be lying to you.
Only me. I'm the only one who's being truthful. So I mean, loose change era is interesting because it's like it was authentic. In the sense that like that skepticism against the government was understandable. It was authentic. It was a cataclysmic world-changing event.
Yeah.
And people were legitimately like seeking answers to these questions that the government was like kind of wishy-washy on. And did not like offer a lot of answers for, right? But since then, there has been a massive movement by, actors, dishonest actors that are purposely and willingly spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were people back then that did it as well.
I mean, the guy that was in the same film festivals as Loose Change. For those of you who are listening who are a little lost, Loose Change is a documentary that is credited to being like the birth of the truther movement, where like three guys put together a truth about 9/11. But the other guy that was in those same film festivals was Alex Jones. That's like when he was still in front of a blue screen backdrop, and he's like, $7,
Yeah. Alex Jones obviously he was a big conspiracy theorist from back then as well. But it was innocuous for the most part back then. And then it like flipped over to like Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
Sandy Hook truthers, Obama is Kenyan, birther conspiracies. Like it branched out in like wild ways, right? Understandably, there's like a lot of skepticism about our media that fucking completely lied to the American public alongside the State Department to go into Iraq and bang the war drum super hard. But the fact that so many of these people now like just fucking latch onto like increasingly more psychopathic conspiracies is terrifying. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. It's totally normal for like 12% of the public to believe that there's like fucking chips in the vaccine or some shit. You know what I mean? It's normal stuff, and basically that's the story of ivermectin. If you look at a trend chart, and I've done this on stream before, like hydroxychloroquine pops off, dies down, and then ivermectin is like flying off the hinges now. Like it's literally like, and it's the same with like CRT, critical race theory, brother. No one's talking about it now. Antifa.
Dude, this is the conservative pump and dump, man. They're way past fucking NFTs and blockchain. They're just gonna make pharmaceuticals and fucking pump them. They're like, we got an abundance of cattle. deconstipator. You know, cattle's diets have been real good. So how can we get people to take a bunch of this cow laxative?
Well,
we can tell them they can shit the COVID out.
That's an interesting. That's the immediate assumption, right? Back in the day, it's not new. This is not new. Like snake oil salesman is a thing, right? Like confidence men selling you bullshit supplements. And one of a lot of the main guys that are responsible for all this COVID vaccine disinfo do actually sell their own supplements. But there's a secondary, like they sell like vitamins and shit like that. Ironically, not FDA approved, of course. But the secondary line of individuals are actually banking on just being the subversive, skeptic guy and building an audience and then being able to show them merchandise instead of the product. Because Merck, which produces ivermectin, immediately came out and was like, well, of course we have to. They stand to gain the most from ivermectin being sold. And they came out and said, don't use this product for COVID-19. It has not been proven. We're closely monitoring the situation, but thus far, there's no medical research. There's no established peer-reviewed medical research that shows COVID-19 is an effective treatment for, or ivermectin is an effective treatment for COVID-19 symptoms. And people are like, la, 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 don't hear you, can't hear you, fuck you, big pharma in the pocket of COVID. That's right. And it's insane. But people like Brett Weinstein, they don't sell ivermectin. They just sell the idea that they are different and that they're skeptics and they're going to tell you the truth. And then they go on Joe Rogan and they suckle on the teat of Rogan and then they can sell a book or whatever the fuck. Like I was looking at his Patreon. It fucking blew up since he came out with the ivermectin shit. So it's all become like a weird industry of disinformation because there's like it's a target rich audience. There's a lot of fucking idiots that want to buy supplements and shit.
We just need to put the fucking vaccine in Fit Tea and sell it like a pyramid scheme. Fit Tea not only makes you skinnier now, it also prevents various viruses, mainly COVID-19. And then just have them sell it to one another. Tupperware parties.
That would be the most effective way to get all these skeptics to fucking take this supplement.
Pyramid scheme.
Like just honestly,
old-fashioned pyramid scheme.
I wonder what would happen if you just paid all the skeptics to be just shill COVID-19 vaccines, please, instead of paying Olivia Rodrigo to be like, I'm TikTok dancing. You should do COVID-19 vaccines. I have Pfizer.
Well, that's a pretty good dance. I mean, I should get COVID vaccine.
That's never going to happen. You know what I mean? The disdain that these hogs feel.
With those hundreds of millions of dollars, you can buy a COVID vaccine. Or apparently you can get Gavin Newsom reelected.
That's a great segue. Especially. I'm saying it, dude.
I've been drinking pre-workout already. I'm ready to run through a brick wall, baby. Okay.